Hi students, welcome to NIRS Education. So as we are discussing the lesson, the natural resources or the things which are very useful, or without them the living organisms can't be alive. So among those we are discussing about the water. So maximum water that is present on the earth, that is in the saline form, or that is the saline water, so that organisms cannot be utilized for their daily use. So the water which is useful or that is present on the earth, which is going to be utilized by the organisms, so that is very less in quantity. So when the rainfall takes place, some water is going to lost, as it is going to run into the rivers and that will join the seas, and some of the water that is going to store on the different water bodies on the earth surface, that is also going to be lost by the evaporation process, and the remaining water that is going to percolate into the ground through the very tiny pores which are present between the soil particles, and that is considered as the groundwater. So the maximum quantity of the water is going to waste, but the very little amount of water is present on the earth for the purpose of utilization of the organisms, that we call the fresh water. So among that only the formation of clouds takes place, the rainfall will come, so the rainfall takes place. So by that water maximum we are not going to utilize. Some of it is going to reach the rivers that will join the oceans or seas, and that will be waste because we can't utilize the sea water, and the remaining water which is going to percolate into the ground through the tiny pores present between the soil particles, that is considered as the groundwater. So here the tiny pores or the space present in the soil, it acts as the capillaries which allow the water to move against the pull of gravity, resulting in capillary water. So little of that water forms an extremely thin and tightly held between the soil particles, and that is considered as the hygroscopic water. So the water which is going to become very thin and which is going to store between the particles of the soil, and that is called the hygroscopic water. And a small portion of soil which is going to absorbed by the soil, and water is chemically bound with soil and is known as combined water. So the water which is going to mix up with the particles of the soil and which is going to join chemically. So the bonding is going to take place between the water molecules and the particles of the soil. So the bonding is going to take place between the water molecules as well as between the particles of the soil, and that water is considered as the combined water. And the downward moving water, the water which is going to move downwards against the force and that is called the gravitational water. So that is the water which is going downward by the gravitational force. So which is moving downward, that is called the gravitational water and reaches the underground water table. So the maximum amount of water that is present inside the earth crust, or that is present inside the earth crust, so that is the fresh water that the organisms or the human beings can utilize. So that reaches the gravitational water reaches the underground, and that is called the water table. If enough rain falls, then only it will move down. So plants can grow by absorbing the water or the drawing only the capillary water from the soil, and that water is considered as the available water. The soil which stores the water and which is easily available for the growth of the plants, that is called available water. So here we should give more importance for the very important activity that is going to regain, that is going to provide again and again the water in all the critical situations for the use of human beings as well as the other organisms. That is called the rainwater harvesting. So how the water is going to store, and how we have to utilize the water that is going to flow into the seas or oceans, so that we have to use in the proper manner by storing that one in the proper place and using that one in the proper time. So that is nothing but the rainwater harvesting. And what is this exact process and how it is going to take place and how we have to do this, that we will discuss in the next session. So if you have any doubt regarding the groundwater, you can send the messages to my WhatsApp number. Thank you and have a nice day.